Welcome, everyone, to the John Christian After Party. I see, John, you actually put your whole name in there instead of the JC, so nobody gets confused.
Yes, that was confusing.
And so far with us, we have, of course, the guest of honor tonight. John Christian is with us, and Mikey is with us, but he's grabbing a quick little nibble, I guess. And a former guest right below me here, Grant Farmer, is also joined us today. And Mikey is with us. But all right, somebody's got the... All right, there we go. And of course, the wonderful and awesome Bionic Dance, also known as Kate Farr, which is her actual, or is it your real name?
Well, it's most of it. But nobody calls me Catherine unless it's my mom when she's pissed. So
right. And the lovely Genesis Undead has joined us all the way from the penis of America, known as Florida.
We've already talked about this. I am the removed tumor of the penis of the United States. I'm Tampa Bay. Well, I'm Tampa. No one calls Tampa Bay in Tampa.
No, they just call Tampa. Right. Yeah. And another fellow Canadian, the Canadian Olyman, has also joined us for this one.
How you doing today?
Well, you know.
Surviving the day.
Yeah, pretty much, right? It's kind of a little bit colder today here and a little bit rainy, but not like downpour rain, but it's like spitty kind of rain. So yeah, and poor folks in the park out near us trying to have a big party, but they're all stuck in the undercover area.
Well, San Diego keeps pretending it's Seattle like for half of the day, and the rest of it it's actually California.
Here on BEI, we had one of our nicer days today. It was around 14 degrees, so it was nice.
Oh, cool. Very good.
Yeah, it was very nice here. Yeah, really hot.
That's been here for the last little while, but today it decided to be kind of rainy. Time to have a little gummy.
Florida has been Florida weather. Yeah. It doesn't really... It's like really wet and really hot all the time. I mean, it gets cold for 1 week, but it's not that week anymore, so it's just hot and wet.
Lovely. Hey, welcome, Gorilla.
Hello.
Simultaneously, that is also what the penis of a human body is like. So the penis of the United States is very accurate.
Well, okay.
I don't know. Am I the only one who looked at the like a map of the United States and sort of saw some sort of bizarre fowl, like a turkey or something?
I guess a turkey taking a shit, maybe?
Well, I mean, like if Maine is the head, Florida is like a front leg, and Texas is a back leg, and then the entire West Coast is a turkey tail. You know?
I was looking at it the other way around. I see now.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw that as a kid. Now I can't unsee it.
Wow. Wonder if I can see that.
There we go. Okay, somebody's playing something in the background.
Not me.
Not me.
Yeah. I hear it too.
Yeah.
United States, eh? Yeah. No, I don't see it.
Like, I actually made an image of the United States looking like a turkey, and now I can't bloody find it.
I remember seeing something like that, actually, now that you mention it.
I have a folder just full of like memes and comedy and stuff. And when I say full, I mean full. And so I'm going through all of it.
So did you know that there's an elephant in Ontario?
That's right. Owen Sound is the... What part of that is?
Owen Sound is the butthole of the
butthole. That's right. It is. Yeah, that's right.
Am I allowed to share a picture of Google Maps?
I don't really want to share anything on here at the moment because every time I do, it seems to fucking get me some sort of copyright strike.
Then I'm going to stop looking for that picture I made of the chicken.
Well, if you made it, I don't think I'm going to get a copyright strike.
Okay.
Unless you copyright strike him.
Yeah, yeah.
That would
That's
be a
how you know
plot
your
twist.
channel's getting popular.
People
there
come
it
on
is
just
now.
to abuse the copyright system.
Oh, hang on. There we go.
Like,
Hey, Nick.
Hey,
with Sharon.
All right. All right. So is this the one you're referring to? This is the one.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I see when I look at the United
Oh.
States. It's some sort of weird bird.
That is like a mile-wide stance.
Yeah.
Well, I think it might be a quadruped. I'm not sure.
Interesting.
But anyway,
That's
yeah.
for sure.
So, like, I saw that in my head as a child, and I've never been able to unsee it.
That's pretty crazy looking.
Eh,
Could be worse.
Uh-oh.
Probably deserves to be, but we won't go there.
yeah,
we can
but the
barely
mic
hear
is
you.
so low.
Oh, okay. Let me work on that.
I think it's because your mic is up on top of your head instead of out in front of your mouth.
Yeah, it's supposed to be using the boom mic, but I was probably using this one.
Hmm.
Is that better?
Oh,
Yeah,
much
that's
better.
much better.
Okay, yeah. It's supposed to be. I have an overhead, but I think it was using the wrong one. No complaint. There you go. Sorry.
Oh,
That's all right.
all
My wife is looking for a way to do that, like just on command. You know, it's just like, what? I can't. My hearing is going. Yeah, all right.
5 years ago, my elderly parents were accusing each other of losing their hearing, and they both agreed to go to their respective doctors, only to be told that they were just ignoring each other.
There you go. Yeah.
There is something to be said for the notion that part of a healthy relationship is learning to let 80% of it just go. Just whatever it is, just let it go.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. It's true.
I started my relationship 25 years ago by spending the first year already in therapy. That's what happens when you marry a mental health professional.
Pro tip, don't let so much of it go that you only talk to your partner once every 2 weeks. Because then it ends, and then you're lonely and sad like me.
I don't know. That actually sounds like, maybe I'm doing it wrong. Right now it's 2 or 3 times a week, but I didn't realize you could go to once every 2 weeks. I have a goal now. I'm excited about this.
Oh, I think my high score is
No
like
reason to
2
live.
months, so good luck.
Well, I have to admit, my last couple of relationships have been a bit of a disaster, and it would have been a lot better if I hadn't been there to actually, be part of them. So maybe it's for the best to not. I don't know. That's just me.
I'm goofing. I do think there's some truth to you got to let it's usually, in my experience, it's the little shit that kills the relationship. So you have to let the little shit go. It's the shit that nags, that just keeps at you, and just worry about the big things. Make sure you A, give each other space, but also B, commit to. So we do a date night once a month, period. Once a month, no matter what else is going on. Drop the kids off, I pin a 20 on them, wish them the best of luck, and go out and just spend time together. And we do that, but we also just sitting there going like, no, mommy's just taking some time to herself. Kids, to go into her office at your own risk, and it's just. And I got my little studio here. It's like, yeah, hun, I'm broadcasting. Well, what's the sound you hear? Borderlands 3? I don't know why you're hearing that. It ain't coming from my office.
I don't know. I can think of some big
Likely
stuff I wish I could let go, but that's just me.
Somebody wants to know the story of when Neil 604 Atheist met a Sasquatch. Well, I don't think I've ever met a Sasquatch. Somebody once told me that I look like a Sasquatch, but it's about as close as I've come to it.
Was that when you met Aaron Ra?
Yeah.
He's more of a Klingon, really.
Yeah, that's what I would say too. Like, yeah, definitely. Actually, that'd be sweet if we ever did like a Faithless Forum at like Halloween time. I guarantee you, Aaron and I could dress up like Klingons.
Yeah, I've actually already got a picture of him in Starfleet gear.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I'm not sure where I kept it, but it's around here somewhere.
I did a whole start, except I went as a Bajoran. Go figure. I'm not sure why. I think because all the other species were taken. It was a group of us, and my buddy did the. My buddy did the. Andor. Oh yeah.
Oh dear. Oh! Screen capture. Hold on. I need blackmail material. This is nice.
All he needs is his forehead ridges. He'd be a Klingon.
He would.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. I find it interesting, though. He sort of mixed the different series, because he's clearly wearing a TOS uniform, but he's got that weird sash thing that Worf wears.
He's got the.
Yeah, let me see if I can
I
find...
have a question. Are the evil vampires from Buffy the Vampire Slayer just Klingons that are bloodthirsty and wearing human disguises?
No, because if you're bit by a Klingon, you don't turn into a Klingon.
But they have the same forehead ridges.
Do we have proof of if you get bit by a Klingon, you don't turn into a Klingon?
Yeah, actually, when has any Klingon bit anyone in Star Trek?
I'd have to look it up, but I'm sure it's happened.
Worf devolved during an episode of the Next Generation.
He bit Troy. That's right.
Yeah, but he devolved. See, he was devolved.
But he was a precursor to the Klingons.
You'd think it'd still have the Klingon. I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, you'd still think. You'd think, yeah.
No, I don't think I have any.
Well,
pictures.
okay, let's put it this way. There hasn't been a scientific study done on it, okay? Are you happy?
Okay, first thing, we need a Klingon.
Let's find one Klingon.
Second of all, we need someone to be
Klingon.
bitten by a Klingon.
I'll volunteer to be bit.
No, we need two Klingons. We need a bloodthirsty Klingon and then like a normal Klingon.
It would help if we also had a half Klingon.
Flesh-hungry Klingon.
I volunteer him to be bit too.
Thank you.
I think he'd enjoy it, honestly.
Hey, as long as it's not happening to me, I can enjoy it as well.
I'm just pretty sure the amount of THC in my blood would get the Klingon stoned.
I ran out of weed like yesterday, and I don't want to walk to the damn dispensary.
Well, that's why I like being here in Canada. I just order it and it comes in the mail.
Yep.
Actually, they do have a delivery service, but I need exercise and I'm procrastinating.
Let me see if I can find it here. It was a long time ago. I don't actually think I have that original photo, but I do have me wearing the Star Trek uniform.
Yeah, digital cameras in those days?
Nope, they did not.
You said long time ago, so I was thinking Galaxy Far, Far Away, Star Wars, not Star Trek.
I still want to show up at an SCA event dressed as an X-Wing pilot. And if anyone gets bitchy, I just say, hey, it took place a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
And it doesn't hurt that my last name is indeed Far. So if I ever want to say far, far away and make a Star Wars reference to myself, I totally can.
All right, there we go. There we go. There you go.
Wow!
Oh, dear
Oh,
Lord.
I've seen that one before.
Yeah, probably. I've shown it a few times.
That mustache, though. You look like you want to be in 70s porn.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
It's like Yanni does Star Trek. Or Weird Al.
Oh, jeez.
I still can't believe I looked like this once.
Oh my God.
That's your Lost Boys look.
Was that about 86?
That's the Outsiders look, if that's anything.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I would go with that. That was, I think that was, actually, this was at the house. The roommate that I have now, we dated many years ago. And that was at the house she was living at the time. So that had to be 86, 87, 88, somewhere in that range.
That's when you were wearing her skirt.
Tons of mice. Yeah. No. It's She's a 604 atheist.
Wow.
Spent most of 1986 being 10 years old.
I spent most of 1986 in college.
I spent most of 1986 being 5 years old.
86, I was just going into Three Oaks High School, grade 10.
Wow, you guys are all old except for some of you.
That's the year I started Roche Fame.
All of you are something, except for those of you that aren't.
Exactly.
Here's a more recent Halloween photo of me, but it's as Jack Skellington. So
I don't believe that's you, except for the part where the walls behind you look exactly like some of the other things I've seen. So
yeah, it's taken in pretty much the same location as that Star Trek one was taken. So yeah, I had a lot of fun on that Halloween. Nobody knew it was me, because I had to put my hair in a net, like one of those like a stocking. You put it all up there and tucked it all in there, and then put the mask over top, and nobody actually knew it was me until I took the mask off at the pub.
My favorite Halloween costume was when I went as Man Without Hat.
Man Without Hat? What?
Like the band?
Yeah.
Okay.
Every day I do Men at Work.
I hope that means you work in a male-only brothel.
I once went as a motorcycle accident victim.
What? Oh, wow.
Because I actually was one. I had a broken arm and a broken leg, but I played up with my head. I had nothing wrong with my head because I was wearing a helmet. But I put all these bandages up, and people thought, "Wow, the cast is so real. How did you get? What's a real cast? Yeah. Where did you get the?
Oh, why, Mikey? Why aren't you in here? Like, you're there. Okay.
I am
He was eating.
everywhere. And that's Mikey Fem and the Lilliputian.
The Lilliputian? Where'd that come from?
You guys were talking about Gulliver's Travels.
Lilliput. Where else would Lilliputians come from?
Duh, Neil.
I missed the Gulliver's Travels part.
Look, guys, this is when I met Kate. Right there.
Oh, look at that. Yeah. That was a long-ass time ago.
Yeah.
Long time.
Well, a couple years now anyways. So
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird because like this year has gone by so fast. I cannot believe it's already almost May where 2020 dragged.
Oh, Jesus.
So like I feel so displaced in time right now.
It's gonna be May.
of course you'd say that, Godless Sewing.
You put the bro
Well,
back
I'm
in
gonna go
bro.
ahead and take your word for it because
Yeah.
if there's one place you won't find me, it's a male-only brothel.
Yeah, no doubt.
Brothels.
All right, so what's our topic tonight for Around the Horn, Mikey?
I'm glad you asked. A lot of people have been asking things, and
People ask things? Wow.
and surprisingly enough, the Round the Horn question is, what should the Round the Horn question be?
I can find something.
Or why did
can't.
Mikey come unprepared?
It's
Yeah.
hard. Usually I can just like shoot from the hip and it's great, but I don't know. There's too much pressure. I've had nothing to drink.
Godless sewing detected. Robot discussion initiated.
Okay, Soundwave, whatever.
Well, it's been fun, all of you. I gotta go. Wow.
My mom's calling me.
We must discuss the robotization of the human race.
Can I get a computer chip? Can you guys do that with CRISPR? Are you done working on that yet, QG? Can I eat tacos yet?
That's what you want me to start with.
So
You want
the
me to
joke
gene edit
is-
you so you can eat tacos.
The
Yeah.
joke is whenever Godless Sewing is around, I happen to be talking about robots and how the world we should all just become robots. So that was the joke. Now you know the joke. Laugh.
I might go so far as cyborg, but not full-on robot, no.
All right.
What was Data? What was he? What wasn't he a cyborg or
No,
just
he was an android.
Android? Because there was nothing human about him. He was just all machine.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
he
he
had
was
no
human
meat parts.
shaped. Hence the andro part of android.
Right, but he had no meat parts is the point, so he
Yeah.
wasn't a cyborg.
Yeah, why don't you ask Yar?
I would kind of disagree with that. At one point in time, he did have a couple of human parts.
Did he?
Oh, that's right. They grafted them on.
Well, they grafted the skin on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he could
Right.
experience human sensation.
That was first contact, was it not?
I believe, yes.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, see, I don't remember the movies very well. Mostly just the show.
How would grafting skin on him allow him to feel what?
Yeah, you'd have to see the movie.
Yeah.
To understand.
Space magic.
Space
It's kind of
magic.
like I always liked that part of Bicentennial Man where they showed over the 200 years as they slowly replaced his mechanical parts with biological parts and human parts with mechanical parts. And so at the end, whether you're human or, bioorganic, it was almost indistinguishable.
Sounds very
Interesting idea.
Theseus.
It was. It really opens those questions. At what point do you cease to be human when, more parts of you are mechanical?
Well, one thing that's bothered me, this trope that's gone around the sci-fi scene for a good long time, is people are going, oh, I hope we get to a point where we can just upload our consciousness into the Matrix and all this shit. And I'm like, dude, you are something that your brain does. You're a product of your head meat. The only way to upload yourself into a computer like that would be to replace your brain with something mechanical and then be able to hook that up to something else mechanical, and then maybe you'll be able to use that other thing that's mechanical that you just hooked up to generate you as well, and then you'll be able to transcend your body. But you can't just hook up your wetware to a computer and upload yourself out of it. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, and we're not just a product of our brain meat, because we are in relation to our whole physicality and how we are in the world. So the injuries you sustained, your unconscious awareness of the long-term effects of those injuries, even your gut has an influence on the way your brain operates. So you can't remove just the brain and then expect the entity to still be the same identity. Our
identities change all the time. Hell, the seizures I used to have certainly changed me. But the thing is that the I, I think, therefore I am, that I is generated by the brain. Without the brain, you don't have the consciousness, the sense of self. So even if you remove the ability to have an upset stomach, it's still the same person, the same consciousness, even if it's altered.
But I don't know if it is. Because if you don't experience an upset stomach, and your whole life you've experienced an upset stomach, are you still the same person if that aspect of your being is no longer there?
I think you're missing my point. It's not a matter of is your personality the same. It's a matter of, are you still self-aware?
Oh, so you're just talking about self-awareness.
Yes, exactly.
Has anyone here played the game Soma?
No.
Okay,
I've listened to the song Soma Cheater.
So in the game Soma, right, AIs are built around brain scans, and they found a way to read memories through sophisticated brain scans, right? In that game, you upload your AI, you start off as a human who goes in to get a brain scan. Then you're a machine with an AI. You upload your AI to a new body. Your old body still has you in it, right? But now your new body has you, and it throughout the entire game it follows the new body's perspective until the end of the game, when it stays with the body that uploads itself, right? So the one that goes off to safety is not you, and the guy freaks out, the protagonist freaks out. Anyways, kind of that's what I'm thinking, right? Sophisticated AI based off of memory reading.
So simulacrum then.
Here's the question: which one was the real Riker, Will or Thomas?
Thomas.
Which one was the real Riker? So that's the other thing. So the first thing, I would never want to be in a transporter because I think it just creates. This is the Pulaski problem. This is the Pulaski problem. It destroys you and then creates a copy of you somewhere else. But
it doesn't.
Gone.
It transfers the same matter across. It doesn't recreate you. It transfers the same
fiction. In fiction, but in reality, when they teleport things, they are disassembling it and then assembling it in the new place out of new matter.
No,
or even the same energy, even if they're converting.
That's the part where I object. It's not new matter. If it's new matter, nothing was teleported.
At that point, you technically die because like all brain function stops.
Yeah, well, okay, that feeds right back into the whole idea of uploading yourself into the Matrix kind of thing, because the only way I can think to do it successfully would be if you had nanotechnology that can replace synapse by synapse your entire brain with mechanicals piece by piece, slowly, to maintain continuity of thought of self, like that. That way, you could totally do it, but I don't know.
Well, in principle, it takes absolutely every molecule, finds every part of every molecule. That's why they have to have Heisenberg compensators, because you actually can't do that. But you would do all that, then either convert it into energy and then transfer the energy and then reconstitute it, or because it's considering what happens when you convert matter into energy, it's hard to imagine converting it to energy in an environmentally friendly way. But so what they end up doing then is it looks like they end up sending the energy over and then reconstituting it. And then what happened with the Riker thing, of course, was that the beam got weak. They brought in a second beam, but what that ended up necessarily doing was it copied it. So then one got reflected back, and you had one exact copy of Riker down to the molecule created on a planet, and another one that got rescued off the planet. And then at that exact moment, there are literally two of him. And so in order for that to happen, it seems to me that they destruct the energy on the pad and then send energy there and reconstitute with a map and just rebuild the entire thing molecule by molecule.
Well, there's a reason why Treknobabble is a term.
Yeah. Right. Is anyone watching Invincible on Prime? Because they clone people, and basically the consciousness just gets duplicated. And so they even outright say, you're not moving your consciousness to a different body. You're making a copy of yourself at this moment. And then the copies can look at each other and go, well, which one of us is now the original? Because we're basically
I'm looking for my physics of Star Trek book, but I can't freaking find it. But yeah,
Does anybody here know the Hugh Jackman movie? I think it's the Prestige.
Yeah.
That was good.
Making copies of himself, right? He's a magician.
Yeah.
He takes what's his name's machine there? Oh, why can't I think
Tesla's machine.
Yeah.
David Bowie.
Yeah.
So
David Bowie was great in that.
Here's a fun thought experiment with clones, right? If two clones are raised in separate but exactly the same environments, devoid of any human interaction whatsoever, will they fulfill the exact same actions as each other because of how they interact with stimulus?
Yes.
I think they'll kill themselves, but go on.
Well, they'll kill themselves first, but if they survive that, then yes.
Well, if they both kill themselves, then the answer is yes, because they both killed themselves.
Okay. At exactly the same way at the exact same time. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If they're the exact same, yeah.
I'm not sure you could recreate the same conditions exactly enough to make them.
In this hypothetical, you can.
That's why it's a thought experiment, because you can't possibly. Yeah. The American Psychological Association board would just murder you for trying to do it anyway. Like, I want to take a kid, put him in a room for 10 years, and see what happens. There's paperwork is crazy.
I would be called a eugenicist if I was. I would be called a eugenicist if I was to perform this.
Well, it's nice that you recognize that in yourself. If I was allowed to do the things I wanted to, I would be criminal.
Hey, at least I'm not Donald Trump, where I deny that as criminal, but do it anyways.
Well, if he denies that it's criminal, why wouldn't he do it?
Okay. Before we carry on here, because I do have a question I want to ask for Around the Horn.
If you were a
Mikey's gotta
clone,
go.
are you a clone?
I'm not a clone.
Well, I think
Prove
I'm a
it.
clone now.
Would you know
There's
if you
always
were a
two of
clone?
me just hanging around.
Maybe you don't know that you're a clone.
Yeah.
Yeah. At
And
least
if you're
someone
a
got
clone,
it.
would you want to be told?
What was that? I never saw that. The Denzel Washington movie. No, it was Will Smith. Looks really good. Will Smith is basically an
Gemini
aged Gemini Man. That's it.
Apparently, it's
I
terrible.
haven't seen it, but my Spidey sense kind of told me that from the trailers. But I was like, this is probably one of those great concept, horrific executions.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's the same. So, what happens if you find a clone of yourself that is identical and woken up 20 years later? So it's you 20 years ago.
And it would be unless we develop some sort of accelerated aging.
Well, I think my first thought would be, oh, you poor bastard.
Yeah, I
Okay.
never want to do
Let
my
me tell you
20s
about
again.
Tiffany. Stay away from her. That was a bad move, dude. I'm just saying.
Okay, Clone
Okay.
Neil.
Okay. Okay, Mikey's got to take off for a bit, so he's got to go do his other show
Take
called
off.
VOA.
To the
It
Great
was
White
a
North.
special episode, so he's got to go do
we
that.
got a surprise, and then I might be back. It depends on how long this lasts.
Okay.
And if
Well,
I don't,
get run over.
yeah, well, spoil all my fun.
I wasn't going to spoil all his fun, just the not getting run over part. I don't know.
That's all right.
Sorry, that's probably my mom.
Hey, Randolph.
Hello.
Randolph replaced Mikey.
Yeah, Randolph replaced Mikey. Okay, so for Around the Horn, I got a question here. Hang on, where was it here?
Michael told me he found my doppelganger.
Oh, okay, yeah.
A guy named
Yeah.
Dr. Rick who's showing up on Progressive insurance commercials.
I think I seen him just the other day. Now, did you say that?
So your clone is an insurance salesman.
Oh,
Yeah,
an
well-
actor in a commercial.
Yeah, actor in a commercial. Yeah, an insurance salesman.
Your clone is an actor who pretends to be an insurance salesman.
Yeah.
That's better.
Hang on here.
That's
Hang
living
on.
the dream
I'm
right
not a real
there.
doctor. I just play one on TV.
Neil, I believe you had a Round the Horn question.
I do. Just give me one quick second here. I'm going to create a banner. Okay. I'm going to put the question on the screen here. So, all right. Now, the question is, if you had to change your name, what would your new name be? And why would you choose that name?
Like our real name or a screen name?
Neil, this question sucks for me.
Well, no. It's a valid question.
Yeah. Do you mean real name or do you mean like screen name?
No, if you had to change your name in real life, like if you could change
Oh.
your name, who would you change? What would you change it if you had to change your name? What name would you choose, and why would you choose that name? So we'll start with the guest tonight, John.
That's a hard question.
It is.
It's a very easy question for me because Christian's my middle name. But I'll make this interesting. I won't say I had my name legally changed to John Christian because I almost did that in the 80s. I was thinking about it. Perhaps I should have done that. My real name is Jean, Jean. Christian is my middle name, and Sogus, Szoges, or for Americans, Szoges. But I would change it to, I would make it John still. I like John. John Conrad.
Oh.
With
That
with
is
a
a
C.
strong name.
Yeah.
Now, why?
Why would there be a C in John?
No, John Conrad.
I'm kidding.
I was
Dude,
thinking
come
for a
on,
while. I
come
was
on.
thinking K just to be like cool, But it has to be C. John Conrad. So it would still be JC, right? I mean, I can't get away from that. Why? Okay. Well, you see, my parents came out in 1956 from Hungary. They were refugees, and we ended up in Belgium, where I was born, and that's why my first name is legally Jean. I don't speak French. And they were given options to change their name and go to various countries. They ended up in Canada, but my father really wanted to go to Australia. he saw these pamphlets and he thought, man, that's the place I want to go to, Australia. And he had a list of names he could change it to because it's Turkish Janos is his name. So he thought Conrad. And as I could have been, I could now be in Australia, become John Conrad.
Wow.
Is there like some action hero named that?
It sounds like it, right?
It's a strong name, you know.
John Connors from Terminator.
That's not who I'm thinking of. I'm definitely thinking of a Conrad.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of John Carter.
Warren Conrad.
Joseph Conrad.
There's an actor named that.
Conrad Smith? I don't know. I'm just fucking reaching now. But all right. So
Conrad the Barbarian.
All right, Jen, your turn. What would you change your name to, and why would you do it?
Hi. My real name, I'm not going to tell you. My dead name, I'm not going to tell you, but I would love to change it. I would love to change it to Genesis Axis Undead.
What Axis? Why?
Because I'm half German and half Japanese, and people jokingly call me Axis, so I'm just run with the joke.
Oh,
that's good.
Yeah. So, reason why Genesis? Because if I transition, it's a new beginning Genesis. Ha!
Very good. Right.
Clever.
Right.
That's a good one.
Also, Gabriel is. I'm going to tell you my first name, right? Gabriel is my first name. Very religious name. I want to change it, but you know what? I think it's funny I have a religious name, so I'll change it to another one. And why undead? Because I love undead things.
Okay. All right. What about? We'll go down now. We'll go. What about you, Kate?
I would change my name to Princess Angelina Contessa Luisa Francesca Banana Fana Bobesca III.
How would you spell it, though?
I don't know. I stole that from Animaniacs. No, the truth is I actually like my name as is. I might shorten Catherine down to Kate. I don't know. As it is, my middle name is Haley. I was raised by hippies. I came so close to having a name like Peace, Love, Dope, whatever, like a Moonbeam. I came this close, right? As it is, my middle name's Haley, like the comet.
Cool.
But I'm pretty indifferent to it. There was a time when I was hanging out with a bunch of other Kates, and so online we all took different spellings to keep track of who was who. I used Keight, like 8 with a K in front of it. The problem is that anyone who didn't know me and who was just not reading critically thought it said Keith. So, I don't know. If I legitimately was forced, gun to my head to change my name, I'm not sure. Maybe I'd just for the shits go with Zagnar the Destroyer. I don't know.
No, you should go with Keith. Keith is much stronger name.
I'm not going with Keith. I really don't think that suits me very well.
All right. Well, I like it. All right. What about you, Grant? Or Max Power? Is that the name you change it to?
Clearly.
Yeah, of course. It's a very strong, powerful name.
Yeah. Okay, but why Max Power?
I saw it on an episode of The Simpsons.
Why not?
Are you a Maxwell, a Maximilian, or a
Maxine?
Yeah.
Nope, just Max. Just Max.
Just Max?
It does sound like a bad 80s cartoon.
Yeah, it totally does. It totally does.
Max Power!
Yeah. In the Simpsons episode,
more slime!
in the Simpsons episode, Homer changes his name and he bases off of something he saw on a hair dryer.
So he goes. That's right, and then it's not. That's not the one where he does the murder horn. That was a different one where he's eating the health bars.
Yeah.
Or was that the one with Max? Okay, I don't remember. It's been a while.
All right. Well, that's that. All right. That works. All right. What about you, Gorilla?
Well, okay. So first of all, I was born in the 60s, and my father wanted to call me Christopher Patrick or Christopher Robin, and my mother vetoed that. Yeah. So thankfully, I was spared that. But my mom named me after. So my first name is Darren, after the actor. However, as a kid, because my last name is actually Newton, I thought it'd be cool if my first name was Isaac. That lasted till I was about 10. And I got tired of people saying, "Are you good at math or physics?" I'm like, okay, but I like the Newton part. And then I thought it'd be neat if I was like Max Newton or 1 Newton. Then I could say that I'm the force of 1 Newton.
See, I
don't know. My brain's still going
you
to
should have
Fig
gone with
Newton
Fig.
jokes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's what I got all through the 70s, and I got tired of that mighty quick.
Yo, Fig, what's up?
Yeah. And all my siblings, we all start with D, so that got really confusing. So I thought, well, anything that's separate. I'm the firstborn, so 1 Newton, 2 Newton, 3 Newton.
There's a D joke in there somewhere.
No, it's 1 Newton, 2 Newton, 3 Newton, 4.
5 Newton, 6 Newton, 7 Newton more.
Or if your mother hadn't vetoed that and you were named
Christopher Robin,
how do you think your life would be different today?
Yeah, especially growing up in the 70s, Christopher Robin. Yeah, I
quiet
think I
dude.
would not tell anybody my middle name, and I would just call myself Chris.
You owe your mother big time.
I know.
That was
Yeah.
Speaking of who's next, Nick, what would you do? Change your name to? And why?
I don't know why I think about it a lot, and James is always a name I've liked. I don't know why. I like the name, and when I'm writing, like half the characters I've ever written, like the protagonists, are called James. I don't know why that name's just glommed on. But John, what was the name of your son? Because that was a Hungarian name.
Yes, Zoltan.
Zoltan. I keep thinking it's got to be. I want it to be something that could be recognized, but would still be foreign. Something either Scottish, Celtic, Norse, or Greek. Something like that. And if you go for Greek, then just not Alcibiades, but not that Greek, but something reasonably, short, like a modern Greek. Well, of course, one of my best friends, his name is Nikos. Actually, he goes by Nikos, and which is of course Nick. It's the Greek, So I was just saying, I don't know, something like, that's it. I can't think of it. The only funny one was my father once almost changed his name to mine, which would have been interesting. And I insisted if he did that, he almost changed his name to Nicholas Lamar Suter. And I told him if he wanted to, he could do that, but then he'd have to be Nicholas Lamar Suter Jr. because I had the fucking name first.
I was totally thinking it.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to finish talking, so if you didn't say it, I'd bring it up.
Well, I honestly wasn't actually pleased with the idea, and that was the way of me suggesting that. But he was Nicholas B. Suter, and he didn't like his middle name because it was Benedict. And in Massachusetts, he's been in the papers on more than one occasion, and he said he could always tell when it was bad press because it would use his full name. And if they didn't use, because Benedict in the United States, Benedict still has a tremendous amount of stigma because it was Benedict Arnold who tried to surrender West Point to, the traitor of the. I mean, it's like how many 100 years, and we're still really fucking pissed about that name. So but I've never actually had an urge to change it, but yeah.
Well, interesting enough, though.
Yeah, he wanted to change it. I was like, change it to something other than Lamar. Why? But he came this close. He didn't like the Benedict. But other than I've never thought about changing mine per se.
It's not even for a number. It makes me wonder if anyone in Germany names their kid Adolf anymore.
Well, yeah. Every now and then you still find it though. You do find it. You're like, what the fuck were your parents thinking? I mean, I don't.
I've heard that some people still do.
Yeah,
They do. I've met a few. And they seem to be. I try not to. I just intellectual curiosity. I want to talk to them about it and say, how has that affected your life? What do you think? I try not to because I assume everybody fucking wants that. It's like when somebody breaks an arm. It's like don't ask them how they broke the arm because 30 people have asked them that today, and it's annoying. But on the flip side, do you really want to know?
From our point of view, though, like, what if there was some guy named like I don't know, what's a very milquetoast name?
Craig.
Tim.
Milk toast.
Craig. Craig. We're gonna go with Craig. Okay, some guy named Craig becomes a genocidal maniac, right? Are we gonna stop using Craig's name?
Craig or Greg?
Craig. Craig.
Because
Well,
Greg
okay,
is
but Benedict isn't exactly the white breadest name you ever heard.
But Benedict used to be reasonably popular in the South.
Yeah.
So was Lamar. Both Benedict and
Oh.
Lamar, which is Benedict is my father, Lamar is myself. Both of those are Southern names, and but yeah, Benedict is still in the U.S. Benedict is still easily recognizable. In fact, it's an insult. People will say, "Oh, you're a Benedict Arnold," and everybody knows exactly what you mean when you say that. So the name carries. It's not as bad as Adolf, but it's really not good. And I had my piano teacher. His name was Dick Odgren, and at one point he said, "Yeah, I don't usually go by Dick." I was like, "Why not?" He's like, "Because of the fucking jokes." I was like, "Oh, please." How old? He goes, "Nope, people still." He goes, "Every day it's your name is Dick." I was just like, "You're shitting me." We are a really rather immature species, from what I can tell. We're name someone Dick, and there you go. It's that or Meatloaf.
How the hell do you get Dick out of Richard anyway? I mean, shouldn't it be Rich? Rich. Anything that starts with an R. How do you get a D out of Richard?
I used to know the answer to that. I don't, but yeah, the way these names apocopate is really interesting. So, what's his name? Topher Grace. People say, "How do you get Topher from Chris?" Well, it's instead of from Christopher. Instead of Chris, it's Chris Topher. So he took the Topher. In Russian, they do the same thing. So in Russian, I go by the name Kolya. Well, how do you get Kolya from Nicholas? Nikolyas. So in Russian, they take the middle part out. So when I'm in Russia, people say, they call me Kolya, and I know who they're talking about. That's short. That's Nick. So you say, how did they get that? It's the middle part. So I used to know how that happened with Richard. There's a history to it, but it actually makes sense when you start to understand how the language changed over time.
Right.
So on the East Coast in Canada, I'm not sure about the US, but on the East Coast of Canada, where you have like really old families that have been there for 200, 300, 400 years in very small, isolated rural towns, you tend to see the same family names and the same first names popping up over and over again, including multiple instances in the same generation. And so there's this one town back east where I worked who had 3 Richard Noseworthys. And to distinguish between the 3 Richard Noseworthys all in the same town, there was Tall Dick, Short Dick, and Long Dick. And that's actually how they were referred to.
Wow.
And
I'm still boggling over noseworthy. Are you worthy of a nose?
Yeah, you may have buried the lead there.
And the grandson of Long Dick actually opened up a food truck called Long Dick Sausage Emporium. And it was really good. It was actually like, and he had the whole story of why his grandfather was Long Dick Noseworthy. And I was like, that's brilliant.
I knew a guy
That is wonderful.
many years ago whose name was Dick Long. Actually,
How do you explain that? You go to your wife. You sit there and say, "Yeah, I just ate at Long Dick's. I ate Long Dick's sausage over there. It was really good." Oh dear Lord. Okay.
Well,
okay.
there is a hamburger joint in Seattle called Dick's, and people are always saying they want to go get Dick's. And
in my 4th elementary school, there was one guy I know. He had 2 brothers. The 3 of them were triplets, and the parents put them at different schools.
Oh,
and
that's
they
smart.
had told the 3 of them I met, and they told me how they actually had 3 younger triplets and 3 older triplets. All together is 8 boys and 1 girl. They all look the same, apparently. But what happened was, it must have driven the parents crazy and the neighbors and everybody. But they told me, the 3 of them told me how to tell them apart. The guy at my school, he had the medium head. Another guy had the thin head, and the last guy had a fat head. That's how they always described it. They laughed about it.
When I went down to Seattle to do some of the Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments back in the day, we used to go to Dick's all the time. And I'd videotape our trip down to Dick's because I used to do the video chronicling of it. So, time to go eat some Dick's. And then we'd go down to Dick's and have some burgers there. They're really good.
Now, when you say you went there for Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, was this back when the Watsy Game Center was still there?
No, these were usually right by the Space Needle.
Well, I'm trying to gauge the year is the thing.
Oh, this would have been, 2010?
Okay.
2011.
Just curious.
Sometime around there.
No, a good
I'm just wondering how likely it might have been that we encountered each other and didn't realize it. Is all.
Oh, so yeah, I guess it's always possible.
There's a store here called Dick's Lumber where I've heard it's a good source of some lengthy wood.
Oh dear God, Randolph.
Dad jokes.
Bad dad jokes.
I was going to say, back to Jen's point about, murderers and all that. There is actually a murderer that shares my identical name, including my spelling, and we were born 2 years apart. And so professionally, I use my middle initial to make sure that anything I write or sign or publish, I'm the one with the S in the middle. So I'm not the one that's doing 24 years to life in prison in England.
So I've been watching the Goldbergs lately, and it was created by a dude goes by Adam R. Goldberg, R. F. I can't remember, Goldberg. And he uses his middle initial to distinguish himself from the actor, Adam Goldberg, who, even despite this courtesy, is still pissed that there's another Adam Goldberg in Hollywood, apparently.
Huh.
It wasn't John
That's pretty
Casey.
fucking petty.
It is. It
Yeah.
like the dude who
Luck
created
for
the
him.
Goldbergs has extended every courtesy, and the dude's just like, no, fuck you. You shouldn't be Adam Goldberg.
Yeah, John
Oh,
Wayne
yeah.
Gacy, Nick.
Yeah,
John Wayne Gacy.
Was it John Wayne Gacy or what's his name? The guy with the swastika in his forehead. Somebody else shared an identical name, and their life was completely ruined when he was. I mean, their life
Charles
was
Manson?
Manson.
Charles
I think there's
Manson.
another Charles
Oh, yeah,
Manson.
I'm sure there's
And-
another Charles.
And his life was utterly destroyed when this thing happened, and it was in part because there were people who just couldn't realize that it's not him, and they're sitting there going, "You realize I'm in a completely different fucking state. I mean, this is apples and oranges." And then people who were just trolling him because they thought it was funny, and it's like, this is a guy's life, and it's not his fault. He happens to share a name with one of the most infamous killers in at the time. Certainly, the
No,
most
he
infamous
didn't kill
killer.
anybody. He had
No, he
everyone
did that.
do
True.
the
No, he
killing
did.
for
Yeah, he
him.
had his family do it. He had the family do it, but it was still.
Yeah. My
Yeah,
my
but
dad,
nobody's gonna freak out if someone's called Charles, right?
Or Jeffrey.
So like that's the comparison I was making with like the whole Adolf thing. Like maybe like in Germany, Adolf is just like a commonish name.
No,
Well, in India,
Charles Manson committed
in India-
genocide against like 4 million people. I think that might raise the bar there. I'm thinking.
Or in India, they have the
I mean, yeah.
Adolf Hitler ice cream cone company.
yep, I have a picture of that. Yep,
Yeah.
and
Oh
they
my
they
goodness.
sell an
And-
Well, I mean, if
Yes.
Donald Trump names every business
With
after
a
himself,
picture,
it
with
doesn't
a
shock
still,
me
an
Hitler
image
did
of
it.
Adolf Hitler because
Yeah,
they
it's like-
view him as a strong leader, so it's a strong ice cream cone,
Yeah.
and it holds the ice cream. And now they've started their own ice cream store chain.
Oh
My
my goodness.
my
So-
dad's name happened to be the same as a wanted bank robber's name. So when he got to the police would pull him over at the checks, they would do checks in his day, and they'd start getting all panicky. So he'd have to show them his artificial leg because the actual bank didn't have an artificial leg. And then they
Yeah.
realized, and it was all he managed to get it on the file so that if he has an artificial leg, it's not the guy you're looking for. So, but they always were. It was a hassle until they finally caught the guy.
And then they caught the bank robber by shooting him in the leg, and when he screamed in pain, they knew they had the right guy.
Well, when they took his leg, then your dad had a problem.
Okay, let's carry on here, guys. We've got
Oh, I
way
was
off
gonna-
track.
I
Yeah,
no,
we
no,
still
wait
have
one second.
Paulie
I was gonna
Marcus
say,
doing-
on track.
There is
I-
a town in Ontario called Swastika.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course. We've been there.
There's a town in
You know-
Newfoundland called Dildo.
I was just going to say that.
The existence of Ontario implies the existence of an off-tario somewhere.
Yes.
Quiet Gorilla. Do you know
It's
if
called
that town-
Gatineau.
Quiet Gorilla. Have you heard that there's a lot of movers and shakers in that town?
I just looked up the census for Adolf, by the way. Apparently in Germany and Austria, there was 13 children that were given the name Adolf between 2006 and 2013. So a 7-year span, there was 13
Well,
children.
almost 2 a year.
Yeah.
When I was touring in the late 70s and into the 80s, one of the things I did every time I checked into a motel or whatever town I was in is look at the phone book. Is there a Hitler? I don't care about the Adolf part. Is there a Hitler? It could be Steve Hitler, Bob Hitler. I don't care. Is there one?
Bob Hitler.
Never found
Tina.
one. And then the internet came along. What's the very first thing I did? Gonna search the fucking world. Is there a Hitler somewhere in this world? And there isn't one. That wasn't his real name anyway.
Yeah, his name was
Bob
like
the Hitler.
Schickelgruber.
Can he
Schickelgruber.
fix it? Bob the Hitler. No, he can't.
How would that sound like Heil Schickelgruber?
yeah,
Put it in for Dora. You know.
There's definitely a point and laugh
Just
factor in the name Schickelgruber.
That's of course there is. Yeah.
Well, they may have just changed it to something else that had good alliteration.
All right.
Sieg Schittlberger.
So, Ollieman, after this rigmarole, it's your turn.
Yeah. Let me see if I can remember what my answer was. I'm trying to remember the question.
If you could change, or if you had to change your name, what would it be and why?
If you had to change your name to Hitler, would you be Bob Hitler?
No. Well, my name.
Or Hitler Smith.
Yeah, my first name Oliver. I'm named after my grandfather, so honestly, it'd be kind of hard for me to change my name. But if I was to change my name, I'd probably change it to Raymond, and that's my son's name, so I'd get to call him Junior.
No, you wouldn't. We just had that con. No, you would not.
You'd be
sore
Junior.
spot. I'm triggered now. No.
You could fix it with the second.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be the second because his kid had it first.
That's what I mean. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Oh, okay, good. We're on the same page. Sorry.
Yeah, he's still Junior though.
But you could use
younger me.
Yeah, if you do senior and junior based on age, not on date of naming.
Where does it say? Where does it say it's based on age? I would like.
No,
I
didn't
need
say
your
that it was.
source on that. Oh, you were asking
You
for.
could go with elder and younger. You can be Nicholas the Younger and Nicholas the Elder.
Yeah. Okay, that would make sense. Yeah, but the first, second, and third seems to me it's actually by the person who had the name.
How about you go with Nicholas the Gray and Nicholas the White?
Just because I could. He's my kid.
Okay, my name's done. We found it. Nicholas the Gray. I like that one. Or do Kolya the Gray, because I did like the Russian nickname, the Kolya. I like that one, Kolya the Gray.
Well, you know what you should do is start like a soda company and call it Coca-Cola.
Wow.
That was a good one. That's how I'm going.
How long were you processing that one for?
Like 5 seconds. I thought of it just before he was done talking.
That's good. That like felt like something that took planning. That was a good one.
Oh, Kate's pretty clever.
I pun. It's a thing. I've been called the queen of the dad jokes before.
That's why I like you, Kate, because you come up with that kind of stuff just that quickly, and I hate competition. But anyway, so oh yeah, so we're gonna ask Randolph, but he has put a message in the private chat saying, "I'll be back in 2 minutes to answer the question."
But he also changed his name to Phil Ken 7.
No, he's back.
Oh.
Okay, first of all, before you answer the question, Randolph, I want to know what the hell that's all about.
What, Phil Ken 7?
Yeah.
Well, that's the name that I would guess I would choose. I've thought about this before, and although one name that came to mind recently was also Michael Corleone, because recently a few people have been calling me the godfather of atheism. So
that still doesn't strike me as particularly Canadian.
No, Phil Ken 7 is from Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. If you haven't seen that cartoon, you are missing one heck of a lot of fun. And
well, I'm in the middle of She-Ra right now, so.
Sorry?
The new one?
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I heard it was.
They're making new episodes?
Yeah.
Oh, I just started it.
Yeah, they have new She-Ra.
Yeah.
Oh, She-Ra. Okay.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah.
I was talking about something else. All right.
No, totally different animation style and everything from the.
Yeah, it's sort of
original.
pseudo anime, but at least it's not that Cal Arts crap.
Yeah.
My kids like it. They say it's very good.
Fun fact about
I accidentally encountered a spoiler this morning. I'm like, of course those two are totally gay for each other. How did anyone not know?
Fun fact about the Cal Arts art style: it's rarely ever actually done in California.
Okay, I just don't like it.
I don't like it either. I'm just saying, like most of the shows that do it because it's cheap to outsource to other countries.
Well, I'm
for
pretty
animation.
sure, isn't Cal Arts a school?
Cal Arts is a school, and the style was developed by like one of the students at the school.
Right.
But like most of the time, like it's animated outside the country cheaply, which is why it looks bad.
Yeah, it looks like it was done in Flash, for fuck's sake.
No, that's what
Cheer up.
Family Guy looks like. Family Guy is keyframe animation.
All right, so I guess it's my turn now, since I'm the only one that hasn't answered the question.
All right.
So you mean Neil's not really your name?
No, that's really my name. But you know what? My name, after meeting my biological family, my name was supposed to be Kevin.
I can't see you as a Kevin.
My name would have been Kevin DeRogier. What the fuck
was that?
The circular saw. Someone just took off a finger.
Well, that sounded like a hockey cheering or something.
I'm sorry. I turned on the UFC live stream here. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Okay, that sounds about right.
So my name would have been Kevin DeRogier. So
DeRogier. Ugh.
yeah, some of the family lineage is
French.
French, Quebec French, and originally France, obviously, but yeah.
Don't accuse the Quebecois of being originally from France. A lot of them don't appreciate that.
Yeah,
No.
well, I was raised within screaming distance of the Quebec border, and I just call them Quebecers.
Yeah.
Quebecers, yeah.
What about
what they call them.
Quebecers?
No, Quebec. Quebecers.
Well, I have some relatives
making
from
a
New
football
York
joke.
who would call
Thanks,
them
Judy.
Quebecers, not just Quebecers, Quebecers.
I got pulled over by Pennsylvania state trooper one time when I had my Quebec license plates, and he's like, "You're from Quebec?" And I'm like, "Yes." He goes, "Do you speak English?" "Yes." And he's like, "Your English is really good." I'm like, "So is yours."
I had that happen many times.
I don't know. You should have faked up an accent. Well, yes, I do speak English very well.
I don't need to fake an accent. Je suis capable de parler français.
Most Canadians pronounce it Quebec.
Quebec. Well, unless
Quebec.
you're there in this, which say
Quebec.
La belle province.
Vows
K as in
from Cave. What?
When I was a kid, I wanted my name to be Steve Austin, like the $6 million man.
Yep.
But recently, I thought a great stage name for me would be to keep my first name, Neil, and change the last name to Down, like Downe. So Neil Down.
You should change your middle name to Before and your last name to Zod.
Neil before Zod. Yes.
Nice.
Yes. I'm all over that. That's fucking brilliant.
Change your first name to Malcolm and your last name to Content.
Malcontent.
Speaking
It
of the
sounds like a
last
drag
name,
queen name if it sounds like anything.
speaking of the last name Down, imagine if the person was called Down and they became a police officer.
Oh, God.
Officer Down is down.
Officer
I
Down.
gotta get to one of my dogs. I'll be right back.
Online, I always go. My gaming and Steam name and all this other stuff is Blackhawk. Bad choice. I got that name since before even the movie. But now it's like if we're in a game and I get wiped out, everybody has to go Blackhawk down. Blackhawk. You got 20 of them going, and it's like, guys, you're still in the fight, right? Aren't you supposed to be doing shit?
That's all right. I get called bubonic dunce a lot, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Like I get dunce, sure, that's funny. You made fun of me, hardy, but bubonic dunce? Like, okay, I'm diseased and stupid. Thanks, guys. It's so lame. It's like elementary school level insulting is to just, I changed a couple of vowels, now you're bubonic dunce.
I suppose that's better than bionic plague.
Actually, bionic plague sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
And truthfully, stupidity might be a disease.
Well, it is inherited.
In high school, I blew the bell curve on a lot of classes, especially science. Like I didn't even have to concentrate; I just absorb all this stuff. So, but I was a nerd. So suffice it to say, I didn't have a girlfriend until basically my last year in high school. But because I never had a girlfriend, the rumor was I was gay. So they started calling me homogeneous.
It's kind of clever.
And were you a nerd, a geek, or a dork?
Nerd, definitely nerd. Didn't like geeks, and certainly I didn't like dorks either. In fact, the only way I kind of de-nerdified myself was being like, no, those are nerds, or sorry, those are geeks. I don't hang out with them. You don't find me in the computer lab after school. Let's go beat them up.
We disagree on what geeks and nerds are.
Well, listen, I still don't know what the difference is, but it worked.
Well, the best way I've ever
Ask the
found to
geeks.
put it is that nerds study, geeks play.
Yeah, and the nerds would wear suits and look fancy, and the geeks would look like complete slobs. That's
Oh my
how
God, I was a nerd.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I was a geek then.
Right,
Definitely,
right.
I was a geek.
Geek equals fandom is the thing. It's like, you know, if you totally dig on Star Wars and you're not wearing a bow tie, chances are good you're a geek.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, that's a geek. We do days where we would do nothing but speak in Star Trek quotes. So if it wasn't a line said in Star Trek, you couldn't say it. This is what my friends and I did. Like after school, you couldn't say it unless it was in one of the movies or one of the TV shows.
So
Damn, I used to be able to know how to ask someone if they speak Galactic Standard using Klingon, but I've completely forgotten it.
So geeks were ghastly and nerds had class. Is that how it's supposed to go?
No.
So, speaking of computer science nerds, I have a sibling whose firstborn child is going to be starting in September at the same high school we all graduated from. And when they went to the open house, my other sibling's picture was still outside the office for the computer science award that he received in 1987. And my brother's like, 35 years ago, he won the computer science award, and his picture is still on the wall.
They're proud.
Well, it's also, I think it's like warning. If you see this person, go the other way.
Yeah, because he probably knows how to hack into your bank account by now.
Of course, when you think about it, what that really seems to mean is that nobody else in that school has ever accomplished any damn thing.
Baby.
Which is kind of funny because the other siblings and I are all like university officials, and yet he's like out there doing his own thing. And like, yeah, and he doesn't even know that. We were like, hey, you know, your picture's still up at the high school, right? But I mean, he built his first sound card from instructions he found in Radio Electronics magazine in like 1986.
Damn.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I never built anything, but my dad got into the computer business in the 80s, like started with a family friend. And so I had a computer long before my friends did. It was back when owning a computer was something only the Dorcases did, you know?
Yeah. I remember seeing
a Mac.
Oh.
My first computer was a VIC 20.
Oh, cool.
Mine was a Commodore 64.
Trash 80 Coco 2.
Mine was
an Atari when you could program on them.
Oh yeah, right. I forgot about those. I remember seeing my first computer was in my dad's office, and it was like the whole room, and you programmed it with punch cards.
Yes, right.
My dad would sit there, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" "I'm programming a computer." "What's a computer, Dad?" And he'd open the room to the computer room, and it was like all the giant big magnetic tapes, and he'd put the punch card in and go. And I was like, "This is amazing."
Okay, so Grant actually found something. I'll read it. It's the geeks and nerds thing. So let me see if I can screen share. It says the definition.
Oh, you're going to read it. Okay, I was going to say you can't put anything on the screen. We get.
I know. I already broke that rule once, but the definition I grew up with were definitions. I grew up with were that a geek is someone who usually is into something, really into something. So you could have computer geeks, baseball geeks, theater geeks, etc. And nerds are often awkward and science, math, computer, but definitions vary, right?
So basically what I said.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
thanks for that little tidbit. There,
this
Grant.
is me. I'm not on camera, but I'm totally doing a victory lap because I was so right.
By that definition, I'm
by
definitely a geek.
Well, the geeks shall
your
inherit
guys'
yours.
definition, I would be a geek, but
Yeah,
I was a popular kid, so I wasn't a geek.
The geeks can be popular. Nothing said that they weren't popular.
Oh yeah, I was a
And
popular
you
geek.
mentioned like
for
baseball geeks, and let's face it, if you're a jock, chances are good you're popular.
And we nerds were very popular with other nerds.
Especially in circles.
You know, we had our own nerd herd.
Nerd
I'm
herd.
always popular with the out crowd. So
Well, back in high school, me and all the outcasts found each other and banded together for strength in numbers. So,
There you go.
because like
Yep,
as tolerant
too.
as Vermont may be, we are kind of surrounded by rednecks when we live in the burbs. So, you know, there's a chance things could get a little dicey. Especially when, like me, you're not quite as lily white as everyone else. Actually, I never experienced a scrap of racism in Vermont, but I was definitely not quite the same shade as the rest of my friends who were descended from like original colonists and French people.
Which were the original colonists?
Well, regardless, though, it's like genetically speaking, I'm basically everything except East Asian. So, yeah, I lived in Seattle for about 20 years, which is why my skin color lightened the fuck up. But I used to be pretty dark.
We got a new word, a geek, nerd geek.
I'm really into being a nerd.
I don't know. I feel like I identify as goth more than a geek or a nerd.
Okay, that's fair.
Well, but if you're really into goth, you can be a geek and a goth.
Yeah.
Or a goth geek.
No, because if you're really into being goth, you're not goth.
Oh,
Yeah, and I'm like, just
disinterested goth.
I prefer nerd to Neek simply because Neek is also the name of one of the aliens from the movie Explorers.
Right. That's right.
It sounds like you could write a book about that. The Tao of Goth. As soon as you
I
try
can explain this to you.
Goth, I actually do. I completely get it because goth is completely disinterested and apathetic to everything. But if you're trying to be goth, you failed a priori.
Wait a minute, that's not true. You're talking about nihilists who don't care about anything. Goths are just dark.
If you try to be goth, you end up becoming seen.
Oh
yeah.
Or emo, but like not all emos went through a goth phase, but all scene kids think they're goth.
What's scene? What do you mean by scene?
Yeah, I don't have any.
I can't show any images. I
know.
Can't.
You're all,
but the scene with the like SCENE.
Yes. Yeah.
You're all
It sounds like it's a synonym for poser.
Cool.
You're all supposed to be nonconformists, right?
John, I have that exact same vape.
That's so silly though, because a lot of the goths I know almost wear a uniform. When you look at other goths, they're like, you guys did the same thing with your hair. You're both wearing almost the same corset, that kind of thing. It's like, you're not really being a nonconformist if you're wearing a uniform of the counterculture movement you're in.
So it's not about nonconformism. What being goth is about essentially is just like a complete like comfortability with like grim and dark things,
right?
With like a nihilistic outlook.
Well, I'm 63 years old, and I was in Deadbeat, which was seriously goth in Toronto in say 1983, 84, 85.
Yeah, about when the movement started, right?
Yeah, we were into Virgin Prunes. And of course, Bauhaus. That's a great band.
Bauhaus is great. Yeah.
Oh, it's a band. Oh,
yeah. No, we only ate prunes that had never been eaten before.
Right.
I wonder about myself at this age. I still feel that way, but I don't act the way I did when I was 27.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'd hope most of us don't.
Yeah.
But I did shave my head. I did.
I've done that twice.
Yeah. I've had my head shaved ever since then. So,
well, I did it twice. I did it once in the early 90s, and then towards the end of the 90s. And both times, or actually probably early 2000s, both times I donated the hair to Wigs for Cancer. So yeah.
How the hell does it grow so fast back?
I don't know. Good genes, I guess.
No, doesn't matter what I do. It's never going to grow.
Well, when I was hanging out in the Sea Goth crowd back in Seattle, it was very different from any other goth scene I'd ever seen. Mind you, my experience with goth scenes that weren't the Sea Goth scene were after. But basically in Seattle, if you wear black and that's it, you fit in. If they saw what was on my MP3 player at the time, my phone now, they would have gone, what the fuck are you doing here, you little fluffy bunny snowflake kind of person? But, it's like, well, seriously, because in the 90s, I was listening to something called Cuddlecore, if you've ever heard of it. Not very goth. But mostly it was that in Seattle was all of the like basically the geeks who wanted to be scary instead of nerdy were the goths. That's just all it was. Then a friend of mine and I, we went to a goth club in Arizona, and it was so serious. Like the first guy we encountered looked like a cast member out of Interview with the Vampire, and he's looking out at us from underneath his eyelids like, I am a creature of the night. And we're like, oh my gosh, dude, turn it off already. We're just here for some fun. You know, it didn't feel like going to the club in Seattle because people were taking it way too seriously.
The goth club in Florida is pretty chill. I say the goth club in Florida because there's literally one, and it's in Tampa.
I still like that music. I still really like that kind of music.
Me too. The awesome band, the Misfits.
Yeah.
What about goth industrial music? Have you ever listened to like KMFDM?
Well,
of course, yeah.
I haven't listened to too much industrial music, but I did have an industrial band for about 4 years in Toronto. So I was heavily into that. And I guess I like Test Department, Einsteins, and Neubauten at the time. Those were the two things I was listening to.
Very cool.
In terms of industrial music. But I know there's like Skinny Puppy was a big thing.
Yeah, they're from here.
Yeah, they are. And I liked them, but I never thought of them as industrial, not in a sense that what I thought was industrial. They were more electronic. They were more electronic sound.
Yeah, but industrial encompassed both the electronic and the industrial noises, right?
I know it did. And I made a distinction. And there's like classic industrial where you really are using actual car springs and 45-gallon drums, and it's heavy. It's like working in construction, but it's also music. It was really hard work, you know.
Yeah, hitting I-beams with shit. And,
shit! I had a satellite dish, bathtub. Yeah,
nice.
Shit, man, it was hard work, and you have to wear gloves. And sometimes after the show, people want to help out, and they mean well, but then they hurt themselves because they cut themselves, and maybe the cylinders fall on their feet.
I've been slacking on the coins thing tonight, guys. Sorry about that.
Defining like musical genres is really difficult. I've been arguing with people on the Cyberpunk 2077 boards about what cyberpunk music is, and that got fraught.
Heated?
Yeah, well, not quite heated, but certainly there was vehement disagreement. Yeah, a lot of us were very much of the mind that the sort of like 80s new wave synthwave electronic stuff is what really represents cyberpunk. And there were some other folks who were like, no, 90s grunge and metal. And it's like, but
no.
And I posted all these examples of cyberpunk music. They're like, well, what makes that cyberpunk? I'm like, well, there's cyber in the name. Half the comments say great cyberpunk music. It's categorized as cyberpunk music, and it was used in a cyberpunk video game, indie game, but still a cyberpunk game. I'm starting to wonder if maybe cyberpunk might have a little something to do with it.
Oh, Jason popped into this chat. Or Dragons of Genesis podcast.
Dragons are in me. Oh, that's fun.
What?
Dragons in Genesis.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Well, it starts with a G, so it's clearly Genesis, like GIF.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't get me fucking started on that word. But anyway.
Well, what does the word stand for? What does GIF or GIF actually stand for?
What does the G stand for in JAG?
Huh?
Wait, in GIF?
Or JAG, Judge Advocate General, not general, and yet it's JAG. So if the G in GIF stands for graphics, doesn't matter.
I got you.
That's all it matters for.
So it should be actually JAG.
Well, no, actually, I think it should be JAG, and I think GIF should be GIF.
Okay. All right. See, I would think you'd want to make the sound that it makes in the word that you're using to represent it.
Well, I suppose part of it is that the creator of the format says it's GIF, but also the first time I encounter it, I went, oh yeah, GIF and JPEG makes sense. They're alliterative.
J.K. Rowling says a bunch of shit about Harry Potter, and I don't necessarily trust her on it. So, just because someone creates shit don't mean they own it. I mean, they technically own it, but they don't control every aspect.
I mean, I'm willing to accept that Patronus is not pronounced Patronus like I thought when I was reading it. So, I think I'm okay with the creator
but are
saying
you willing
shit,
to,
especially since I already agree with him.
Are you
There's a
willing
huge
to?
difference.
Are you willing to
Oh.
accept that Hermione Granger was in a wheelchair the entire time?
No.
Then
What?
Then you don't accept everything that J.K. Rowling has ever said
Well,
about Harry Potter.
She
and
also
thus-
said that Hermione's black, and yet there's a passage in the book where it describes her lily white skin. So
Well, and I mean, two different things. One is a fictitious universe, ergo, anything that's in there is correct by definition, at least to the author's
right.
intent. And as far as how we pronounce GIF,
Jeff.
or GIF, or however you wish to do it, words change, and nobody has the say. It's the culture. We don't pronounce Wednesday Wednesday, and we don't pronounce it Odin's Day or Thor's Day anymore. It changes over time to be more. It's a pocapation of a language. My daughter now, who's turned out to be somewhat of a gamer, keeps
Pokemon
going,
language,
"Ye."
what?
She keeps going ye. I was like, "What the heck is ye?" And every time I talk to her, she goes ye. I was like, "What the fuck is ye? I really want to know what ye is." And she goes, "Oh, it means
You mean
yes."
yeet?
No, ye.
No,
Why
no,
ye?
ye.
And it's actually yes. It's an apocapation of yes. I was like, "You shortened yes. You shortened yes is already one of the shortest."
I can't wait till they
Okay.
shorten.
Well, hey, sometimes I shorten yes to
GIF is easier. GIF is easier to say. Where the tongue goes on the back of the mouth to produce the G is easier than a J.
It's
So
really
it's
not.
gonna
It's
be
super,
GIF.
super awkward.
Sometimes I shorten.
And Jif is for peanut butter, indeed. The
And
creator
it's
of the format
damn
said
good
that
peanut
choosy
butter.
developers choose Jif just the way choosy moms choose Jif. That was the whole point of the name.
Oh my
It's like
goodness!
tasting peanuts for the first
I'm
time.
not even kidding. He says it in interviews.
Whoa!
I have no doubt.
Whoa! Okay, I don't think I heard that right, John.
Yeah,
said
I heard it. I was just
peanuts,
glossing
right?
over
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I
yeah,
was.
Okay. Wow, that was a conversation stopper.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know who needs to hear this,
Well,
but
I think
moist.
what we need to do. Listen. We're all adults here, and
Nice.
that was getting a little contentious for my taste. So what I think we can do is everybody gets a knife, and we're gonna take. It's gonna be the GIF and the GIF side, and we'll sort it out once and for all.
I don't care enough.
Well, you
Call it
can bring
whatever you
knives,
want.
I'll bring firearms. No, orbital strike lasers. That's what I'll bring to your knife fight.
I don't.
Has anyone ever been on
you
the
know what?
wall of death?
I'm gonna say that's cheating.
I
Sorry,
don't
That's gonna be my
care.
position. On
I
that.
want to win.
Jen, did you
Has
just
any-
ask if we've been in a world of
Hi.
meth?
No, a wall of death. What the fuck, dude? I get I'm Floridian, but world of meth.
Okay, Gorilla. I'd like to talk to you about how and why you're hearing certain things that you appear to be hearing, because I am beginning to get a little concerned.
Because I'm old, and I'm also listening to Tart at the same
You're
time.
not. No. You're not old. Okay.
Are you moonlighting on me?
First of all, you are not old. Neil had to crank start his first chariot. That's old. Okay.
Neil and
you
I
know?
are almost
Oh, yeah,
exactly the same age.
Yeah.
Now I'm
Except,
wondering, I can't possibly be the youngest one in here.
No,
No,
I am.
Jen is.
Why is it? Why do you think I've been staying out of all of these conversations where you've been talking about anything before 1998?
I was going to say, that's why Jen makes silence when we talk about the 70s and the 80s.
yeah, Jen's just in the background going,
Bitch, back
It's a
then I was a
shame missing
nebulous
out on
cloud of
being a kid
chaotic
in the
energy.
80s. I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
Listen, you know what? I enjoyed some of the 80s music.
me
Oh, the
too.
80s was the best time to be a kid. The movies had not yet become like special effects and action only. The writers hadn't realized they could use special effects in place of characters. And the cartoon shows were pretty amazing. And we didn't have quite so many regulations hemming us in on how we play. You know, not every toy gun had an orange tip on it yet.
Nope.
You know, that kind of thing.
Clothing was terrible.
I'm gonna
Fashion
argue.
was
It was.
Okay.
It was.
What was
I'm
horrible?
gonna argue.
We had
for-
lawn darts.
Sorry, I can't hear. What was horrible?
Fashion.
Oh, it was not. There's nothing better than Dayglow.
And shoulder pads.
I'm gonna
Well, okay,
argue.
I'll grant you the shoulder pads. Those were terrible.
You know
I'm
what I
gonna
had?
argue again.
Go ahead, Jen.
I'm gonna argue against the 80s having the best cartoons. I think growing up in the early 2000s had the best cartoons. You had like Teen Titans Go, The Secret
that's true.
Saturdays,
Uh-huh. You didn't have G.I. Joe. You didn't have the Transformers. You didn't have Muppet Babies.
Those were all made to sell toys.
And they were a lot of fun to watch.
And they were all made to sell toys.
You know what you didn't have? Bionic 6. And those toys were shit, and I still love the show.
Bionic sex?
What? Bionic 6. It's about a family. There's strangely enough 6 of them.
Yeah. But no, I know. We are a family. Yeah.
Where do you suppose the name Bionic Dance came from?
Oh, I have learned something new today.
There you go. Yeah, because whenever they'd activate their powers, it looked like they were doing some funky martial arts dance. And I said, Bionic Dance.
Yeah, okay. I got it now.
Yeah. One fashion trend that I actually enjoyed was the hypercolor. The shirts that changed colors when you got warm. Those were really interesting.
Well, I remember Freezy Freakies. There were like these gloves that would change color when you went outside in the cold
it was the same
air.
concept.
Yeah.
Except that the shirts would be like, a light purple, and then when you got warm, they like under your armpits they would turn dark purple. Or it was like
there's something you want to wear on a first date.
Yeah. It's like
now wear the stretchy pants with that material.
The parachute pants.
For me,
I had a really cool pair of painter's pants.
For me, there would be a constant outline of my like micro-sized tits, because I get under boob sweat. So like hypercolor, just like dark titties.
One of the best decisions I ever made was going sports bra only. Kind of a privilege of the out of work lesbian or the self-employed lesbian is not having to wear a proper brassiere.
Yeah, see, I think even when I get top surgery, I'm not gonna wear a bra ever because like I have micro nipples.
Okay, well, understand this. After a while, you will start to droop. It helps to be supported.
No, I'll take that in strides as every Floridian does and just let them sag.
Okay, whatever floats your ducky.
GoBots were terrible.
Yeah, GoBots were... I was surprised when I found out they were first, but then I realized, of course they were first. Transformers were an upgrade.
Okay, great thing about the growing up in the early 2000s was like the current Transformers comic book series.
Well, I sort of stopped reading comic books around 2000 or so wouldn't know.
Fake geek.
I'm just not into comics. I'm more of a movie and video game sort.
I was talking to some coworkers about comic books and how I had an English instructor when I was in high school that got me onto comic book collecting, and pretty much everything that they recommended just proved not to be worth anything. But I was still buying stuff that I thought was cool, like X-Men and the 4-issue limited series of the first Wolverine. And I still have them. And they're like, really, what would they be worth? I'm like, I don't know. They're sitting in a box in my house. And
you're actually worth something.
The 4 issues of Wolverine, the original ones, which I have in plastic, are worth $7,000.
Yep.
Wowzers.
I was like, what the?
I had them too. Gave them all to my cousin.
I bought the original.
I had X-Men from issue 1 up. Wow.
I bought the original Wolverine's first time that he was in, where he fought the Hulk and the Wendigo.
Yep. I've got that one.
I bought that one at a yard sale for $0.25.
Yeah.
Well,
unfortunately, my version wasn't worth much more than $0.25 because one picture was cut out of the middle of the book.
Oh no.
Oh.
I have the first issue of Spider-Man where he came back with the black and white costume, and I got it signed by the artist at a Comic-Con in Montreal.
Very cool.
Yeah.
See, I had the Secret War series where he got the costume.
Yeah, me
Beyonder.
too. Yeah.
I have an ElfQuest poster signed by both Richard and Wendy Peeney.
Very cool. I have an original drawing of Spawn.
Ah, dang, you can't see it. It's too small.
Oh, yeah.
But
signed by what's his name?
Michael by McFarlane.
McFarlane, yeah, because my old manager at Sam the Record Man when I worked there.
Oh, right.
His brother was roommates with McFarlane in college. So
I forgot you worked
he got a copy of that and had McFarlane sign it for me.
Well, while we're on the subject of like famous comic book people, earlier today, Neil Gaiman liked one of my tweets.
Are you serious?
Cool.
Yeah, I mean,
That is-
not one of my tweets. It was a reply that I made to someone else's tweet, but he still liked it.
Wow,
That's really
you're-
cool.
You're famous.
Yeah. I naturally, of course, screen grabbed it and posted it to my own page. But fucking hell, why wouldn't I?
Yeah, I would too. Hell yeah.
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 I mean, I suddenly have Icheb from fucking Star Trek Voyager following me.
Wow.
Wait,
Yeah.
following you? Wow.
Yeah, on Twitter. Yeah.
I mean,
Egypt.
I've made Facebook friends with a number of celebrities, but really hardly anyone on Twitter.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it when it happened. I was like, holy shit, really?
Hmm.
Yeah, I turned off my Facebook many years ago because I don't need my students knowing what I was doing when I was their age.
Oh.
They're doing worse, I almost guarantee you.
And I don't need to because I still live and work on the campus. I know what they're doing. They don't need to know what I was doing.
Yeah,
It'd be a little bit
I sometimes
hypocritical.
question the wisdom of friending back my parents on Facebook.
Oh dear Lord.
Yeah, that's it. There are times I have to edit, just self-edit a little bit. Like, okay, what will mom say the
you
next
go.
time she calls me?
Wow.
There you go. Icheb
Interesting.
follows me. Yeah, and when was it Julia? Why am I my brain farting all over the place today?
It's Saturday.
Yeah, probably. And the edible I had earlier is finally
Well, that would
kicking
do
in,
it.
I guess. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, you're going to wake up in Las Vegas tomorrow.
Yeah, no, hell no.
Well, stop by San Diego on your way.
I'd
you're
much
fully
rather go to
vaccinated,
San
we'll hang
Diego.
out. I'll take you to my favorite dispensary.
Oh, cool. Well, the vaccination part is coming soon. It is coming.
No, in the last month I've been stabbed twice by total strangers.
I know. I totally misunderstood that.
Yeah, I
Who the
posted that
fuck's
on Twitter,
picking on
and you completely missed the Moderna hashtag. You know?
Oh dear Lord.
I'm literally getting pissed off. I'm like, oh fuck, whoever it is, they're lucky I'm not there, kind of thing, right?
Did you book your date, Neil?
I have. They haven't given me an actual day yet, but it's the save on just up here.
Oh, because I got a date if I wanted the AstraZeneca.
Oh, well, why not go for the AstraZeneca?
Because I have an autoimmune disorder and I'm not entirely certain.
Right, the blood clot issue. Right.
Turn
I would be that one in
your
the
immune
million that would end
disorders
up-
manually.
Yeah, yeah. I'm thinking I'd be that one in the million who would get blood clots in my leg.
Well, Darren, if I got to tell you, it's 0.00096% of the people actually end up, and they're usually females in around the age from 20 to 30 that are on birth control.
I read all the white papers,
Okay.
and I'm like, you know what? I can stay with a mask just because they're just waiting to see when they get the supplies of Pfizer and Moderna back up.
Moderna is the one I want to go for because
Yeah.
both the Pfizer and the Moderna are the mRNA vaccines, which I think are probably better.
It's amazing how many people are terrified of them, though. It's like I've been having these arguments with people on Twitter, like mRNA. It's like we don't have experience. It's untested.
Yeah, we do.
It's like fuck off.
They don't understand the science. That's what I found.
I still have to schedule my 2 shots.
Do it.
Yeah, I know I have to do it. I've just been busy with school and shit. Like that's one of the reasons why I haven't been on these shows is I don't have.
Oh right, yeah. How's it going?
It's going pretty good.
Yeah.
Have you welded yourself to anything yet?
No, but I've burnt through one shirt already.
Nice.
Well, it's better than burning through your hand.
Yeah.
Well, no, like I have like gloves and
yeah, I know,
like leathers, right? But like I didn't buy the bib because the bib is like an extra $25, and it's like it's really hot wearing that.
$25.
Well, no,
If
it's
for your
like
safety, I'll do
so. No, there's 2 reasons I didn't do it. One, it's not entirely necessary. 2, it gets really hot if you're wearing the sleeves and the bib.
Gotcha.
And 3, it was like more money, and I just didn't feel like I needed it. But like the price I pay is now I have a bunch of burns on my stomach, but it's fine. I'm fine.
Everything's fine. How are you?
Nice to see here.
just to go back a second, I was AFK, but I could still hear you, sir. I've got my first shot booked for the vaccine on May the 26th. It just became open to my age group here on the island last week.
Cool.
And I called the other day and booked my first appointment. So
Hold on.
You're on the island?
Prince Edward Island, yes.
Oh, Prince Edward Island.
Oh,
Yes.
right.
East
That's
Coast,
what
East Coast.
Right.
I don't
When
know
people
how I
say the
ended
island-
up qualifying so quickly. I think like the seizures have been long since cured, but I think they're still on the books, and so they said, "Oh, neurological disorder, you're a priority."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I looked through the list of all the priorities that they had set up, and I'm like, not quite. Damn it. You know, having a heart condition doesn't quite get me there. Having an autoimmune disorder doesn't quite get me there. It's like, damn it. It's stupid for being healthy enough not to be that sick. Yeah, but my mom got Pfizer and my partner got she works in healthcare, so she got both of her Pfizers like months ago. So I'm the odd one out that still hasn't been immunized.
Well, anybody can get them here in Canada now. They finally said, yeah, if you're 18 and older, you can get it.
Okay. Well, I mean, up in Whistler, they immunized everybody because we had an outbreak in the staff housing because they had people from all over the world up there.
Yep.
And
pretty soon now we'll all be immunized up here, and of course we'll see some of these restrictions lessened, but still, even if you're immunized, folks, wear a mask because you could still have it and still pass it on. It just doesn't affect you. So definitely keep that mask until they say, you don't really, I mean, wear them if you're getting in large gatherings. You don't have to wear them if you're home with your family and you're all, immunized. You can hang out in the backyard and whatever. You'll see some stuff happen.
Well, my dad and I are both fully vaccinated now. My parents have been stuck in Mexico for 2 years because they couldn't get home, right? Like, with just like crossing the border was kind of problematic and everyone was diseased. So what were they going to do? But now that we're fully vaccinated, my dad's going to be coming to visit, and that's going to be interesting because he's a lot more la-di-da about pandemic safety than I am. He's like, oh, we're both fully vaccinated. We can go like eat at every restaurant. And I'm like, Dad, I kind of want to keep my mask on still, It's just it's weird because I don't think my dad quite gets how dangerous it still could be.
Well, especially with the variants.
It doesn't protect you against all strains. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Well, you at this point, once you're vaccinated, now you're wearing it for others' safety, really, is what it's about.
Well, yeah. But even so, I mean, I don't want to get this damn disease. I like being alive. It's my very favorite thing, and I want to keep it that way. So, you know. I'm going to be alive. Although one of the reasons I was off Twitter for several months is because a bunch of assholes in the atheist community somehow got the impression that me saying, hey, maybe someday when this pandemic is over, we might be able to not wear masks anymore. All of a sudden, I'm an anti-masker. I'm like, what are you fucking high? I'm saying when we have some herd immunity and we might think, hey, maybe we can go back to normal. And they're like, no, masks forever. And it got so ugly. And so many strangers were coming in who hadn't seen the OP. I was like, well, fuck this crap.
Nobody likes to wear masks.
They're conflating optimism with anti-masker. I don't know why people conflate so many things.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens on Twitter.
I'm watching people get dogpiled for fucking bullshit where it's like, no, you misunderstood me. We don't care. You have to own it now. You're persona non grata because we thought you said something
I
you
don't
didn't
have to
say.
own anything. I'll own what I originally said and the context I said it in.
Mm-hmm. But at that point, it's too late. No one will listen to clarification.
Too late for them. Not for me.
I got registered for the vaccine last week, and I followed up to find out about scheduling, and apparently the scheduling for my age group doesn't start till May 1st.
Oh.
I still have to wait.
What?
Yeah, you're younger than Neil and I.
Wow.
Dude, anyone 18 and over now can get the vaccine.
No,
at the pharmacy.
They can't quite.
That's not right here. Wednesday, they just announced here that age 50 and over is available to get the vaccine.
Yeah, every province is doing it at a different speed depending on the availability of the vaccine. So I know that in BC, they're now taking pre-registration for 40 and over if you're going through the government. If you're going through the pharmacies, it's 18 and over, but they're only getting AstraZeneca. They're not getting Pfizer and Moderna.
Wait, BC, does Canada have access to time travel now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Randolph and Neil and I all live in the past.
BCE.
Actually, I love Vancouver. BC is great.
Didn't I tell you we changed the name of BC instead of it being British Columbia? It's now Bernstein Country.
Oh. Okay, like nobody in my immediate family has the same last name. My mom's side of the family is Bernstein. So,
hey,
there you
maybe
go.
we're related, Kate.
Well, I think it's pretty unlikely given that we're both adopted.
But maybe you were adopted from the same families.
Yeah.
Yes,
maybe
but
we're
our
adopted related.
Families are,
You
well,
could be
that's possible.
siblings.
That one's possible.
I'm going to call you Cuz from now on.
Well, what's funny is like my dad's side of the family is Italian, and their last name is this 11-letter Italian clunker of a name that's the same as a certain Hollywood actor who's gotten popular recently.
Oh, Rigatoni Carbonara?
No, I'm thinking of Joe Manganiello.
Rigatoni Carbonara.
Yeah, well,
Awesome.
Now I'm hungry.
I love Rigatoni Carbonara.
Well, I mean, I'm from the 80s. I remember Rigatoni Danza.
oh God, that was good. I really like hanging with her. I really do.
Oh, Kate's awesome. Rigatoni Danza. That's fucking genius. Okay, now I'm really hungry. I gotta find some rigatoni or something.
Well, you also took a gummy. You probably got the munchies going too.
Well, it hasn't quite gotten to that point yet. But,
It was a joke.
If I get munchies, I'm just gonna have more gummies.
You'll get it in a second, Randolph.
How much THC's in those gummies?
They're
Not enough.
high. They're very high.
My mom had
pun
these gummies. My mom had these gummies, right? And I tried like 2 of them, and it didn't work. So I think edibles just don't work on me.
Yeah, that's what I thought until I took enough of them.
Yep.
And then I woke up in Las
Here's
Vegas.
the thing: when I say enough of them, I don't mean enough at once. What I mean is, the first time I tried them, nothing happened. Second time, nothing happened. Third time, oh my gosh, I can smell colors. So
I've eaten like edibles quite a few many times, and they've never worked on me.
It was a Chevy. I was conceived in the back of a '57 Chevy, not a
Yes,
Ford.
But the question was about not you.
True.
This is Neil's stream, though.
Well, yeah, but my name was. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, her name is there, so that's why. But I thought maybe Tuz might have forgotten what I said. Maybe he was just trying to look for another similarity. If you were conceived in the back of a '57 Chevy as well,
I have no idea how I was conceived. For all I know, I was like genetically created on the mothership before they dropped me off on this paltry little planet. But
That would be cool, actually.
it really would. And it's also a very common fantasy among adoptees that their parents are space aliens. You'd think deposed royalty would be more popular, but no, space aliens.
Funny you mentioned that. I actually wrote a story about that when I was a kid. When we had to do creative writing story.
Really?
See?
Yep.
I'm telling you, it's very common.
So I know how I was conceived. The entire world was filled with too much law and good, right? Too many lawful good people. So the universe and the powers that be rolled a D20, and I came out.
A D20.
Wow, that's major.
A
stuff.
dice 20.
Was it a natural one?
Probably. I have so many mental disorders. Probably.
Yeah, if reincarnation turns out to be real, I'm going to request a body that's not quite so much of a fixer-upper.
Yeah,
between the eyes and the seizures and all the other crap. I need help.
No.
I you know what? I will accept being left-handed again. I actually kind of enjoy it. But other than that,
Hey, quiet gorilla.
Yeah.
What is it? The Pfizer, Moderna vaccines are the most efficacious to get right now.
I mean, efficacious in terms of the immune response that they provoke, or efficacious? So because of Moderna and Pfizer for the first dose is showing a higher percentage of people that are getting more thorough of an immune response. AstraZeneca is not far behind, but they just haven't done as many people, so they don't have really good data. But it is increasing with more and more people. But the problem is because of the shortage of supplies for Pfizer and Moderna, BC, all the provinces in Canada are getting overwhelmed with lots of AstraZeneca, and very little Pfizer and Moderna is getting in right now. And that's why if you are okay with AstraZeneca, they'll stick a needle in your arm tomorrow. But if you're holding out for the Pfizer and the Moderna, then you're going to have to wait. And I just looked it up, by the way, Neil. Not all healthcare authorities in BC are taking 18 and over. Some are, not all of them are.
Okay.
Each healthcare authority is doing their own scheduling. So it depends on where you are.
I don't know about anyone else, but my first shot, my arm hurt for 3 days. The second shot, I've never been more sick in my entire life. I lost multiple pounds in the course of 12 hours. It was horrific.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I'm
That's
glad,
something
I'm
to look
glad
forward
I
to.
did it,
Yeah.
but at the same time, holy shit.
Yeah, every single person I know who works in healthcare, including all my partner's colleagues, they said exactly the same thing. The first shot was like a sore arm for a day or two. The second shot knocked them flat on their back for 2 to 4 days.
That's what I've heard.
Whoa! You already sold me when you said I was never going to be sicker.
No. I never said you're never going to be sicker, because I actually got, I was part of the response team for H1N1, and it turned out I'd actually gotten it about a month before everyone else did. And I was like hit by a truck. I'd never been and I was fire rescue paramedic for years. So I'm used to being sneezed on, coughed on, thrown up on. And when
you're used to being hit by trucks?
Yeah, well, I was, only twice, but I was sitting at work. I was eating lunch, and all of a sudden, I just felt this chill move down my body, and I broke out in a sweat. And someone looked at me and said, "Are you feeling okay?" And I'm like, "No, I don't feel really well." I went home. That was a Monday. I went home early, did not get off the couch till Wednesday, and felt like I'd been driven over. And then, like 3 weeks later, H1N1 hit the province. We dealt with it. We were able to kind of get ahead of it. And then when they were doing the antibodies, I had already had the antibodies. And I was like, wait a second. And I'm like, oh, back in early October when I got sick, that probably was H1N1. And why did I get it before everyone else? Because I had a compromised immune system. And so I get everything.
Wow. For the first 24 hours, the 6 started 12 hours in, and then for the next 12 hours after that, the only sound I could make after getting that second vaccine was, eh. So, it wasn't pleasant, but I it's worth it for the immunity. I wouldn't recommend it as a weight loss solution, but it did do that too.
The new weight loss plan.
Yeah.
Get the COVID shot.
I
got new weight loss plan. They call it the Pfizer cleanse.
My partner, my loving partner, once brought home from work at the hospital Norwalk. And it was terrible. So we spent a weekend. Norwalk is it's a virus that causes like food poisoning. It's what you see on like cruise ships, and you evacuate out of every orifice uncontrollably for about 72 hours. And we had one bathroom in the apartment, and there were times where we were fighting over the toilet, and one of us was just leaning over the tub because it was like you just couldn't keep anything in for about 3 days.
Wow.
That sounds
Norwalk is terrible.
Oh boy.
It sounds like Ebola. Jesus.
Oh, it was.
Well, you literally turn into a human sprinkler.
There's vaccines for Norwalk now, right?
Yeah. So I pretty much had either immunization for everything, or I've had everything.
All right, so I'm going to put this up here now because it's last call for alcohol. I got to wrap things up.
Cheers.
I got to get up fairly early tomorrow because I got to go to work and do some stuff there. A couple of rail cars come in.
Excuses.
Yeah. I got to go test a couple of rail cars that come through. So with the oil and stuff. So yeah, so I got to get up at fucking 6 tomorrow on a fucking Sunday. Like I had to go to church or some shit. But anyway.
Is the oil in drums, or is it in the big oil carriers?
It's in the tankers, man. It's in the giant tankers that are on the rail cars.
So you have to take samples from the tankers.
Yeah, and then one of the guys I work with, he unloads the tankers right into our 100,000 liter tank that we have at where I work. So yeah,
wow,
yeah. No, the rail cars. They're rail car tanks, not tankers, as in like a ship.
Yeah, no. But I also thought maybe they come in drums from different sources.
Come in drums, totes, bottles, you name it. We get it any way possible.
Drums, cymbals, a bit of a gong, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
So next time I do an oil change, I should just put it in a container and send it to you.
No, we don't. We don't have walk-ons anymore. You'd have to take it to a gas station, and they would deal with it. And then
I'll
we'd
mail
go
it
pick
to
up
you.
from them. No, I don't want it. What am I going to do with it? I use them in my oil ritual, just smearing it all over me or something. Like, what?
He wants you to
Dispose of
test it.
Yeah. Safely dispose of it.
It's just a 1980 mine. Yeah.
I can tell that this came from the ancestor of a sycamore tree.
That's older than 6,000 years, by the way.
6,000 try 6. What?
Yeah.
600 billion? Yeah, no.
What?
No, wait, no. When was the Carboniferous period? Because 65 million years ago was the end of the Cretaceous. Okay,
Right.
this is going to take forever for me to remember, so let's just end the show.
Just stop. What I usually do before we close out is let everyone know where folks can find you, and we'll start with the guest of honor, John. Even though there's links in the original interview that you can go find John, but yeah, John, go let everyone know where you can find him.
Well, I tell stories from my book that I've written, The Way to Kealoha. You can find that on Twitter, but also on Facebook. I'll be taking these videos and putting them together on my YouTube page, our YouTube channel, which right now there's basically music, lots and lots of music of being played by myself or bands that I've been in through the years. And there's a really interesting comedy documentary, sort of a parody of a rock band there called Powerhouse. And what else is there? Oh, yes, there's the old school television channel where you see some strange old commercials that I've sort of accumulated over the years. But mainly I'm doing my storytelling right now.
Awesome. And thanks again for being my guest of honor today.
Thank you.
All right, Genesis, your turn. Where can folks find you?
Hi, I'm Genesis Undead. You can find me at the Genesis Undead channel where I do Genesis Undead things. What's that? Well, you can catch out my first episode of Nightmare News Now where I talk about the news. I'm going to have more episodes of that coming out eventually when I have the time to record or when I'm inspired. I'm never inspired these days. It's the cross I bear for being goth. I'm just never inspired. Also, I'm also on Nat One Heroes, which if you were at the beginning of the stream, you saw Mikey Pham, and he's also on Nat One Heroes. He plays Zermos, a delightful asshole named Zermos, who's a druid, and I play a fake Australian gnome. So it's fun. It's great.
Very cool.
It's a lot of
That
laughs.
sounds really familiar for some reason.
Oh,
I can't imagine anything that would be based on.
Oh, wait a minute. No, I was here last time when you said it. That's right. The Australian gnome was the part that made me go, what the fuck? But okay.
All right, Quiet Gorilla, where can folks find you?
www.thequietgorilla.ca. Anywhere on the internet, there's a Quiet Gorilla. It's probably me. For the last 30 years.
All right, Grant, where can folks find you?
I keep myself fairly well hidden, so probably nowhere, but I technically have the Twitter account, Stone Monkey Lab 1, but someday I'll get my YouTube channel started. I just hope it's before True North Talk.
Hope it's before, yeah. We'll see which one comes first. The race is on. So,
I feel like I've been hearing about this True North Talk for 6 months. Oh, wait, I have.
It's coming, I promise. All right, Kate, where can people find you?
Well, as you can see in the lower left there, the name is Bionic Dance. It's all one word. Stop getting that wrong. And right now I'm not working on much. As some of you may or may not know, I was kind of unhappy making atheist videos for a while. I just wasn't enjoying it. It felt more like a chore than anything else. So I quit and started doing animation only. But of course, that takes a while, so I don't have a lot to show very often. Before the month is over, I will probably be showing some incidental footage from this project I'm working on called Quinn Redshift. It's a very big animated project. It should be about 20 minutes when it's all done, but I'm just one person, so again, it'll take a while. The incidental footage, it's like there's a scene in a bar. Most bars have TVs on, and they're usually watching sports, so I came up with a sci-fi looking sport. It's kind of like half rollerball, half Quidditch, called Jetball. And I'll probably show you what that looks like, just because it's not actually going to have any spoilers in it. It's just, a scene that's in like the background. I'm not sure how much of it even the viewers are going to see, because I don't know how often the camera will be pointed at the television set. But I'll probably be showing that before the month is out, and there will be more to come soon after that. So
beautiful. Awesome. Looking forward to it. All right, Nicholas.
Sport.
My name is Nick, and I have my own channel where I do little shorts on philosophy, debates, various other things.
He has assholes like me on once in a while.
And, well, then there's In Time. There's In Time, which is the other channel. Neil's been on a few times. Randolph's been on. And then we that channel has a lot of programs actually, but we've got just sort of the basic like interviews that we do. We bring people on. We talk a lot of times it's atheism, but we also talk philosophy, science, culture, all that kind of thing. We also have a separate news program that's Overtime, and that we cover usually the weekend news, but we also cover breaking news. So if there's something going on that's sort of national level, we are usually covering it live. We're also integrating social media. So we have, if it's riots or anything like that, we have live streams usually of the riots coming into the show, and we sort of cover it. We have people that we come on, guests we have bring on history professors, stuff like that. And we just try to give any breaking news context as it's happening and try to understand what's going on. So that's the show.
And you and I were talking about maybe possibly in the future doing Time Out, remember?
Yes, absolutely. So just another, and then then there's Nick of Time, which is like 5 minutes short. I have only 5 minutes to talk. That's it. They give me 5 minutes. It's like, really? Yes, it's called Nick of Time. And it's all these other, So, and we're constantly adding stuff too, which is really good. But I'm very proud of the program, and a lot of it's not just me. There's a lot of hard people. Well, we have working people. Well, we have Titan, who is hard. He's a hard ass. And so he's doing a new show. We're calling it Hard Time. He's going to be the host. And no, he's not. We're not doing. I always joke we're going to do Hard Time with Tony, but no. But anyways, I enjoy doing it, and come by, see Randolph. He'll be on next week. Tart will be on next week. All of Tart, they're coming on, and we've had on Aaron, Dillahunty, and not just we talk about debate, politics, philosophy, the whole 9 yards. So check it out.
Very cool.
YouTube /In Time Show.
There you go. All right, Canadian Ollieman, where can folks find you?
No place. I really don't. PEI. This is the first time I've ever been on any type of YouTube show or anything like that. So,
well, really, I got to pop your cherry.
That's right. That's right.
Nice.
So you can find me on the ACD Discord, though. I hang out there all the time, talking about whatever. So
very cool. Randolph, I'm sorry, nobody wants to hear anything. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Tell everyone where people can find you.
You can find me on my YouTube channel at youtube.com/Randolf Richardson. Remember, Randolph is spelled with an F, not PH. And there's the Canadian Atheist, which is an organization I started a few years ago.
Randolph has low pH.
If he could change his name, he would change it to add a PH.
Go ahead. I mean, take off the R in the end.
Neil, was that an attempt at corrosive humor?
It was very basic.
Okay. Here's a question. This is a serious question I've always wondered. If two Canadians insult each other, is there a thing on who has to say I'm sorry first, or is there an order? Is there an actual documented order of sorry?
Yeah,
there is.
It's in the Constitution.
No. We just solve it with a bottle of maple syrup.
Yeah, either that or I sick my fucking my Cobra chicken on them.
You don't both go to Tim Hortons and share a bear claw?
All the all these Canadian secrets like Cobra chickens are getting out. We gotta keep a lid on this stuff, man.
I actually had a bear claw this morning, but not from Tim's.
Conrad Richardson.
Hello, comrades and friends, or no? Christopher Hitchens talking.
Oh, look at that.
The Canadian Atheists. Oh yeah, Bionic Dance is awesome. I really like her videos.
Yeah. Agreed.
The Canadian Atheists. You can find out more about it. www.canadianatheists.ca. One of our mandates is to see that atheism becomes normalized in Canadian society. We hope that'll catch on around the world. You can read more about the Normalize Atheism campaign at www.normalizeatheism.ca. Please do take a look at that and feel free to use the hashtag that is suggested on that website. So as more people find it normal, the easier it'll be for other people to just willfully be honest with society and say, hey, I don't believe in deities. We believe that it's normal to not believe things. So the True North Talk program coming up with Neil and I, once I get the studio built, we'll be able to start taking live calls covering a whole variety of topics with a Canadian atheist perspective.
Canadian atheists, we're sorry there's no God.
Right there.
Nice.
There he is. Yep. I have a similar card, but I keep forgetting to bring it with me to these after parties.
It just has his name on it.
Do religious, religious Canadians say amen?
Some do actually, and they love to put that right on their church signs occasionally. Oh, look
that's the thing I'm working on right there that I was telling you about. That's jet ball right there.
Oh, that's awesome.
See, this one I don't have to worry about, Randolph. And actually, I thought about it. If there's stuff that you want to show that's not anything I need to worry about, I can show that stuff. But yeah, getting hit with fucking 2 copyright hits in one video is like, yeah.
That's scary. Yeah. I would be very careful about it, Neil. I don't want to jeopardize anything. If I had any doubts, I wouldn't bring it up.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. So is that it? Y'all done there?
Yeah.
We're testing it now because the last time the gorilla was on, BBC did a copyright strike. So apparently they don't want gorillas on the internet.
Yeah. Well, you're okay because you're not owned by BBC.
Last time when we had Randolph on, HBO took us down off of Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah, but I didn't post that video.
I'm going to blame you. You were the hey. I said, "What do you want to talk about?" You said, "Let's talk about when Bill Maher had on Ben Affleck and Sam Harris, and they fought." I said, "Sure, we can do that." And all of a sudden, HBO is like, "Hey, guys."
The reason I suggested that is because you seemed to be...
don't change the subject. Don't change the fact that I mentioned it first has nothing to do. You are changing the subject, sir.
I'm not changing the topic.
All right, you two.
Did I misread you? Like, I thought you were hinting toward this.
It was my idea, but you said yes.
Why don't you guys get the vaccine, then get some boxing gloves, meet each other halfway, and just fucking duke it out?
No, we're going to get the maple syrup. It's the maple syrup. We're going to get the... I'm learning.
It's not me who's to blame. It's my consent.
Yes. Wait a minute. I think I may have gone into an argument. I don't think I you know what? I may have to backtrack on this one.
Thinking about it, shouldn't it be pro-sent? You know, my yes was sent to you rather than my no.
It's exactly. Like how progress is the opposite of progress. Yeah.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Here we go. All right, that's about it, guys. I gotta get the hell out of here.
So you say "here we go" and you're about to stop the show.
Yeah.
Really?
Here we go, about to stop the show.
Yeah, here we go again on your own.
Anyways, guys.
Yeah, which will be available on the merch store at some point, along with the hashtag coins, beer cozies. Yeah, but other than that, guys, first of all, thanks to my amazing patrons. You guys are awesome, and you inspire me to keep doing this and having some fun with all my friends here. And I appreciate everything you guys do for me. And as Randolph mentioned earlier, don't forget about the upcoming show, the True North Talk, which will be soon, we'll say. But you can check out.
Mention the website. Did you want to cover that?
Just shush for a second so I can finish.
You're
all
welcome.
right. So yeah, we're starting, and you can actually visit the website too. It is www.truenorthtalk.ca, because we're Canadian. And so head over to the channel, give it a sub, and hit the little notification bell so you know when we go live for the first time, because you don't want to miss the launch. And there's some funny videos there, complete with like Benny Hill fucking music and us bumbling around like a couple of construction amateurs. So it's a lot of fun.
And if the two of you are going to bicker like this, I am all in. I am going to be there for the first show to watch the two of you like this. Like, will you let me finish? Okay, well, sure. No, but now this is going to be cool.
Yeah,
it's like a beaver fight. We're just going to,
Just slap tails.
All right, and don't forget. As Mikey's been a host a couple times on the show, the revamped and relaunched Nonprofits that airs on Sunday between Talk Ethan and the Atheist Experience. So head over and subscribe. You'll see some of the great content. Jenna who is in the chat as well as one of the regular hosts, as well as myself, and lots of other great people. So head over and check that out. And I think I'm on this coming. No, I was on last week's. I won't be on this week's, but I'll be recording for this coming up one. All right, and the last Saturday of every month, I get together with my very good friend Andy Hill and Seamus from the Free Thought Prophets, and we do a little something on Andy's channel called Laughing in Disbelief, called Atheists Drinking Out Loud, and we have a lot of fun doing that. We basically get together for a couple hours, have a few brewskis, and make fun of people and shit, and it's a lot of fun. So head over there.
Last Saturday.
Andy Hill or Andy Hall?
Andy Hall.
Okay.
What did I say? Did I say Hill?
Yeah.
Oh.
But today's the last Saturday.
Yes, but we're doing on May 1st because we did one mid-month because I wasn't around.
Saturday.
Okay, but normally it is, and we did one mid-month because I was with my mom the last Saturday of the last month because of her condition. So we bumped it, and now we're gonna. Never mind. Just tune into the channel, and when we go live, you'll know.
I hope she's doing much better.
She is. She went from the ICU to an acute care. And now she's out of acute care into a regular room, so she's doing much, much better now.
Fantastic.
That's good.
Yeah. So, I'm going to go see her tomorrow and Monday as well. So my sister's kind of mad because I'm hogging all the time with Mom. But anyway, I'm kidding. She's not.
That's okay.
Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. All my wonderful friends that popped in with the after party tonight. You guys are awesome.
And also me.
Well, and you too. Yeah.
Thanks for having me on the show, adopted dad.
That's right, my adopted daughter. Always a pleasure to have you in here. All right, and thanks to everyone hanging out in the chat. You guys keep me laughing because I do see your comments. And thank you, Kendra. And Kendra will be a guest on the show very, very soon. So wait for that one. I could probably name a whole bunch of people that are going to be on the show. But anyways, I will be booking for the first half of June real soon, too, because I'm almost done booking for May. So you never know when I might come knocking on your messages and say, hey, you want to come on the show? Twitter, Facebook.
Told me about this drinking thing.
Well, what, you mean they drinking out loud?
Yeah, you asked me to be on it already.
Yep. I said, well, I'll come and bug you and come on for that one. For sure.
Yay! Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun. All right, guys, like I always say at the end of these shows, like the late, great... Wait, which one am I? Oh, yeah, like the late, great Carl Sagan once said.
Eat the gummies.
No. Yeah. Damn gummies are awesome. No, that's not the right one. That's the one I'm looking for. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And we will see you guys next time.
Have fun.
Damn it, Bobby. Wear your mask when we're in public.